Hey basketball coaches and players, today I am going to talk to you about the 1-2-2 full court press. Let's get down and let's check this out. Okay, so in the 1-2-2 full court press, we are going to have one player up front, and he is going to be the one who defends the ball, or at least the inbounds player. Next is going to be players 3 and 2. They are not going to be passing that free throw line extended and free throw line. The reason for that is when they start going past it and in front of that line, what is going to happen is it allows them to get beaten a lot easier. Next is going to be players 4 and 5, and they are not going to be passing that half-court line for the same reasons as players 3 and 2 not passing the free throw line. And that is, once they pass that line, it's a lot easier for them to get beat for their position. So those are the simple rules behind each line of players. From there, what we are going to have, let's say they set up a simple screen, player 1 gets that inbounds pass. We want player 1 to attack that inbound player. Now what's going to happen, and what usually happens is in a press break, is player 3 runs inbounds, player 2 goes wide. And the whole main idea in a press break is to get the ball up the middle, and then on top of that, for our defense, their goal is to trap along the sidelines. And preferably, I personally would rather have my team trap in these corners. And the reason for that is once a player is here with the ball, they cannot go back over half. That's an over and back charge. They also obviously cannot go out of bounds. So now they're trapped in that corner. And if there is a double team on that player, it's going to be extremely hard for that player to do anything. So when they inbound that ball, what I want to see happen is something a little bit different than what most coaches would teach. So most coaches will teach, bring player 2 over, bring player 3 over, player 4 will come over, and player 5 will play the middle. But instead, what I like to see is for player 3 to continue to stay wide so that we are already there when they swing that ball around. And I want to see player 2 clogging up the middle so that player 3 doesn't have an open lane down the middle. I want this to be single coverage for now. If they do decide to start dribbling the ball up the court along the sidelines, I want to see as soon as that player passes over the free throw line extended, I want to see player 2 sprint over and start covering to cut off any dribbling back towards the middle. And I want to see player 3 cover the middle for that reverse pass. From there, when player 1 continues down court, I want to see player 2 continue or to start double teaming player 1. And I want to see a trap along the sideline. If we can get him here, then that is our main objective. But if we can't, I will accept a trap along the sideline earlier than the half-court line. At this point, what I want to see happen is no passes into the middle. I want this to be very clearly covered by those 3 players. If there's a long pass across the court, we'll take that risk and let them do it and hope that player 5 is able to pick that off. However, if player 1 was instead to attack the middle, what I want to see happen is player 2, I want him to take a strong stance in front of player 1, and I want to see player 1 red, our defender, to fly by the defense and to then cover the middle. The reason for this is sometimes a player, and a very good strategy to beat a press, is to get a double team, have another player run up the middle, and now they've beaten our press. With player 1 running past that double team and covering the middle, cuts that off. That way now player 2 is the main defender on player 1 and is still trying to force that player towards the sideline. Again, if that player gets past that free throw line extended, we want player 1 to then move over and to start covering that player slightly so that we can force him towards that sideline. Player 3 is then going to cover the middle, and player 4 and 5 are going to be spread out but still covering. If there's a player here, if there isn't and he's in the middle, then they're all set. And player 5 needs to be ready to sprint over for the cross-court pass. If they, however, pass that ball and then swing it around, we will then have player 3 covering player 2, player 5 and 4 swinging over towards the right side or the far side of the court. And now we will have player 2, because player 2 switched the main position or main defender with player 1 when player 1 flew by earlier, we'll have player 2 covering the middle at this point, and we will have player 3 as the main defender. If player 2 gets past that free throw line extended, we're going to have player 2 run over and then continue to cover and force player 2 towards the sideline, and player 1 will cover the middle. Now, this may have been a very slow explanation of the 1-2-2, how I like to run it. However, I hope that it was very clear and that it helps your team win more games. And if it does help your team, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And of course, I've got a lot of player videos as well, so share this channel with your players as well. Anyways, I will see you guys again in my next video.